Hey guys, it's Suetonia here, and today I'm going to be talking about the Ishkur, which is a Glantier assault frigate. Personally, I think the Ishkur is worse in almost every way than the Enyo. I think the Enyo is a very good ship, probably one of the best assault frigates in the game, and probably one of the only few ones that I would say don't need any real changes to them aside from just generic assault frigate changes. This ship, the reason why it's worse than the Enyo is that it does significantly less DPS. This does about 2/3 of the DPS of the Enyo fit that I posted. Now, I am using railguns on this specific fit, and I guess I'll go over the fit first. I'm using 125mm railguns with the optimal range bonus. This gives you 10km optimal and antimatter. So what that means is in heated Scram range, you can basically apply full turret DPS with the ship. They also run a small NOS. The cap on the Ishkur is pretty bad, and so in some situations you'll want to be up close and running that Nosferatu to keep your rep running. If you're finding ships like rocket ships or laser ships, I have a compact Microwarpdrive, a Tech 2 Scram, a named fleeting web, a small ancillary armor repairer, a Tech 2 damage control, a Tech 2 drone damage amplifier, and then a A-type explosive plating to cover my resistance hull in explosive. And for the rigs, I just have double hull rigs. Now, the Ishkur is slower than the Enyo. It also has a bigger signature radius. It's less agile. It also has less armor HP and less structure HP. And while the Ishkur does have an advantage at Scram range, and it is slightly more flexible in the fact that you can kind of choose your damage by using different drone types, I don't think it's really worth using over the Enyo. This Ishkur in particular that I designed is more of a, like I mentioned, a Scram Kite. You want to try and hold people at 9k if it's advantageous for you to do so, and then you can hit them with your drones and your railguns, where you do 200 DPS, which is quite nice. I think it's around 230 DPS with heat. The Ishkur bonuses are also quite weird. So it gets 5% turret damage per level and 10% small hybrid turret optimal range. Even though this is kind of a drone ship, it's more like a more like a turret ship that has a lot of drones. It also gets the drone hit point bonus, but it doesn't get drone damage with that bonus. And if it had drone damage, it would be overpowered in its current state. But this bonus here, the 5 meters cubed to ship drone bay capacity per level, is really annoying. It's kind of just like a weak bonus that doesn't really need to exist. I personally, maybe this is like a 1% of Eve problem, but when you try to multi-fit Ishkurs, you can't. It always fails. You have to put the drones in manually because when you multi-fit ships, you're not actually flying it, and it only applies skills when you're actually flying it. So it just makes the multi-fit fail, and it's really frustrating when you just want to fit 10 Ishkurs and go out and PvP with them. It's also really annoying too if you don't have Assault Frigates 5. I have the Assault Frigates 5 obviously because I maxed for every fit that I'm showing you. But like if you import my fit and you try to fit it, you're gonna have to manually put in the drones because you only have 45 meters cubed of drone bay if you have Assault Frigates level 4. So that bonus just feels really weak. So yeah, I don't like the Ishkur as much as the Enyo. I think if you have the choice, if your turret skills and drone skills are the exact same, and you don't want to use the Ishkur for other reasons, like the drones, to choose damage type, or you just like drones, I would definitely fly the Enyo. But yeah, the Ishkur, it's not horrible. It's a middle of the road assault frigate. There are assault frigates that I think are worse than the Ishkur, but I think it's kind of middle of the road. There are assault frigates that are better and more fun to fly in my opinion, but it's not the worst of the assault frigates. So in this first fight with the Saber, this is a pretty standard fight where I'm going to be Scram kiting to stay outside his autocannon DPS at 0. So we're putting out that I'm already low shields and I already have half of my charges missing my Ancillary launcher. This dude does have friends on the other side, and I did kind of get into a fight on the other side, and I had to jump because which cancelled my reloading of the Ancillary. So I am low on charges here, and I did have a bit of shield damage, although the Ishkur doesn't have much shield. But the strategy here is pretty simple. You know, obviously the Saber has a fall-off bonus, but the further we are away from him, the less DPS he will do. So we want to kite him at 10k or upwards of 7k so we can hold him without him being able to escape, and we can apply our full DPS, whereas the Saber is forced to shoot us into fall-off and he loses some DPS at that range. It also denies him the possibility of using Hail S, the high damage Tech 2 ammo. Despite the handicap, I'm still able to finish him off quite convincingly by using that Scram kiting strategy. And now I just run away before his friends come into the system. But yeah, that's the just generic basic Scram kiting strategy that you will be using on an Ishkur if you're not fighting a rocket ship or a laser ship or something that can always hit you at the range. Otherwise, you will be coming in to use Javelin. Also, in some situations, you might consider going close to be able to utilize the small Nosferatu to be able to use your small rep more. I'm going to show you an example of a fight where you would be going close range. In this case, a Flycatcher has been following me around for a little while, so I assume he wants to fight. I jumped and then checked the other side just to make sure he didn't have backup on the other side before engaging him. So in this case, I actually want to go close, and there's two reasons for that. The first reason is that I want to be able to use the Nos. The second reason is that the Flycatcher has a velocity bonus, so it's always going to be able to hit me with rocket launchers. So I might as well be up close and apply Javelin DPS to get more DPS, as well as be able to run my Nosferatu on him to ensure that I can tank longer, because it doesn't really matter whether I'm 10k or 2k from him for his damage. So I'm up close here to use the Nosferatu. I noticed that this guy is using Scourge Rage Rockets on me, and I have huge kinetic resistances on the Ishkur. I have 87% kinetic resists. It might have been a bit more scary if this guy had Nova Rockets loaded. Unfortunately, I think on his fit he only had Scourge Rockets, so unfortunately he was kind of doomed in this engagement. I did actually hit my Exile in this case just because I saw local go up by 1, and I wasn't too I would assume that a Flycatcher would actually be a really hard fight for me if he had a Nova loaded, but I still think it's one that I'm comfortable taking, and one that I could maybe win. I still do have like a huge hull buffer left over too. But yeah, this was just the dual MSAB Flycatcher. Dual prop Flycatcher might have been a bit more scary because he could have maybe like kited me at 10k and denied the Nosferatu and denied the close range damage. But yeah, that was a pretty good fight. Props to that guy. Let's see if there's anything in here. No, they're not nerfing the Vexor Navy issue, just the normal Tech 1 Vexor. Okay, there's nothing here. That Cinebulle is... I wonder if I could kill the Cinebulle if he landed like exactly at 0. I think it would be a very difficult fight still though. That maybe I'll be able to go under his guns to see. I guess we roll Javelin here. He has a nude. That's going to be a very big problem. Hopefully once we establish an orbit though, we might be able to do something here.
The capacitor is empty.
So this is the biggest problem.
The capacitor is empty.
It's the new. I think I'm under his guns kind of though, like if I can just...
The capacitor
He's doing a good job though by double clicking away. So I think he is actually still tracking me a little bit.
The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty.
He's not scramming me anymore. I think he might have like capped himself out with the new. Yeah, he's not new to me anymore either.
The
New dude
capacitor
just
is
came into
empty.
local, I think. So
The capacitor is empty.
he might be getting back up pretty soon. He starts asking for help in local, but as soon as he asks for help, the dude left.
The capacitor is empty.
Alright, so now I need to do a pretty good job of like draining my own cap to drain
The
his.
capacitor is empty.
I just like mash the.
The capacitor is empty.
Oh, I need to make sure the web stays on actually. Maybe I need to be a bit more careful there.
The capacitor
I think
is
he will
empty.
probably get help though before I can kill him, unfortunately. I think this is an area where the Enyo would be much better, because my DPS is just not good enough, I think, to kill him before his friends are gonna come. Hopefully he doesn't have much, Okay, I think we will just kill the Executioner then, I guess. Hopefully he doesn't have much armor. I think what I need to do is just keep him webbed and just shoot the... Okay, never mind, the Executioner's bailing. Okay, that's fine. I was gonna switch over to the Executioner, but he's playing really passive right now, so I'll start wrecking again. Hopefully this Cinebulle will die fast. Actually, what I should be doing, I guess, is recalling these Acolytes. Put out Hobgoblins, because they're going to go through his armor faster. Yeah, that shit's happening. I'm surprised that Executioner didn't just YOLO in. I would probably start taking damage from the Cinebulle if he put like a web on me.
A module has run out
Poor
of
guy.
charges.